Hey guys, this is Brad from LA, and we've bumped into each other at East West Studios tonight. There was a Safari plugins kind of event happening, and I wanted to ask Bradley one question. If a young person is studying audio in college, what's one bit of advice you would give them? Whilst they're studying, what should they be doing? What should they be thinking about if they want a long-term career in the business?
So the first thing, that's such a good question too. Like I think about that a lot because when I was studying sound arts, right? I got a degree in sound arts in the Bay Area, which is just 6 hours from here. Yeah. And when I was studying sound arts, I was always under this intense, just like paranoia. Like I had this feeling like, what the f am I doing, right? Yeah. It's like, oh my God, I spent $100,000 to go through this school, right?
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm like borrowing from Sally Mae. They got all these $1 million studios in there. We're learning all these techniques. I'm gonna come out with a bachelor's degree, and I'm thinking that doesn't really mean anything, in sound. Like, what am I gonna do with this, right? So I'm freaking out, and I always had this kind of anxiety about it. I was 25 when I started going to school for sound, and you can imagine that's kind of older. A lot of kids there were like 18, 19, 20, 21. And I constantly had that kind of like edge to me, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I had anxiety all the time because the closer I got to graduation, the more anxiety I had. What am I going to do with this? I need a job. So the first thing I would say is you're going to need the job first, right? Okay. Not the long-term career. I wouldn't even focus on that until you can get that first job. So my way of doing it was I was constantly thinking about who I knew, right? And the way I actually got a job down here in LA from the Bay Area, coming right out of school, was I knew someone from a restaurant I worked at 10 years ahead of that, right? Yeah. And I saw that she was working at a place called Mutato Muzika on Facebook, right? This was back when Facebook was a thing. So I started calling her, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? You're working at this place like Mutato Muzika. I'm coming out with a sound degree. Like, you got to give me an internship, you know what I'm saying? And that was the first thing I thought about. Like, talk to your friends, make friends, stay connected with people. Yeah. Like, that's so important because you may be thinking about the longevity of your career, but at first you just got to think about paying your bills. Yep. Yeah. Yep. The other thing I would say coming out in 2026, 2027, 2028, we're coming into a world, especially if you're in your 20s, you're coming into a world where you got AI, you got all this technology, you got all this fast-moving stuff going on. It used to be where I would say you need to be very specialized in your skill set. Yep. Nowadays, I would say no way. You need to be the person that can do a little bit of everything. Right. Okay. Right. Because I was like that. I would say you had to be specialized. Yeah. Yeah. That was a thing. Like me growing up. I'm 42 years old, so growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, it was always, you got to specialize, you got to specialize, you got to specialize. Okay. Now you can listen to a podcast, any podcast, and they'll tell you, in 4 years, the surgeon is going to be outperformed by an AI robot. So how specialized do you want to become, right? Yeah. So do you want to be that specialized tool in audio, or do you want to be someone that can recognize human patterns, talk to people, be a great marketer, be a great brander, be a great effective communicator. You got the skills, the technicals. That should be no problem for you if you're going to school for audio and sound. Study that stuff, figure it out, understand it. And I would say understand it to the point where it's not something that you have to look up with AI, etc., but you conceptually understand it. Yeah, yeah. So that part is in your pocket. It is in your skill bag. But other than that, you should be able to do a lot of things. You should be able to work with people. I think that's going to be the biggest skill of the future. Being able to empathize with artists, with people that actually care about their art and they're emotional about it. Yep. Like being someone that you can actually talk to, right? Like, and they don't feel like you're judging them, etc. Yeah. Right? Like you want to be someone that can be truly human. Yeah. Being someone that's so technical, going into the workforce as a kid that just graduated, like that's a dime a dozen. And do you think a lot of younger people are so fixated on screens and their devices and communicating through that means? Do you think
that they should be thinking more about the human, like the one-to-one connection, meeting people in person and going to events and going to gigs. Do you think that's important?
I think that's more important than ever.
Yes.
Right. So the screens are the segue.
Yes.
So I've met, there's countless people here at NAMM. We're at East West Studios here in Los Angeles right now. This is a place where they recorded the Beach Boys, right? This is a place where Michael Jackson was recorded.
Yeah.
This is a place where legends have probably sat right where we're sitting, right?
Yeah.
People that have sold 10 million plus copies of one song, an album, whatever. It's all about humans. It's all about connection.
Yeah.
That's what music is. You can talk all you want about AI, music, etc. The one thing that I will always argue is that if you don't work for it, if you don't create, if you don't make that thing as a human, you will not get the dopamine, you will not get the feel-good thing. You are basically pulling a slot machine and you're getting that fake dopamine. So real true self-fulfillment happens through working hard and creating and producing. And that's going to happen with humans.
Yep.
The AI is going to be a tool, just like the dictionary, the encyclopedia, the phone, the internet, etc. is a tool. If you cannot connect with people, who's going to listen to your music, even if it is AI generated?
100%.
Right? So it doesn't matter. Like, the technology does not matter unless the AIs start to become their own industry and they're trading songs and listening to each other's songs, right? It's like, but then we lost the whole plot.
Yo, we're finished.
Yeah, the plot is like gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So absolutely, the skill set is to connect with people online, talk to them, be a human, be empathetic, right?
Yeah.
And connect with people, and then try to find ways to connect in real life and see if that